people of South Africa for having conducted successful elections, peaceful, free and fair. We are here as the economic freedom fighters to accept the results and take this opportunity to congratulate the ANC and the Democratic Alliance and all political parties who have participated in these elections. We have once more proved that the multi-party democracy does exist in South Africa. In the whole world, there are no perfect elections. We have seen, even in America, the court resolving election disputes, which is a clear indication that there are no perfect elections. We have noted a lot of problems experienced on the ground. We have received many complaints from our people, but it is very important for all of us to put all those things behind us and move forward. We particularly want to thank the 1 million plus voters who voted for the economic freedom fighters. We are encouraged by those voters for having been brave under such difficult circumstances, where they've been intimidated, where they've been threatened to be expelled from work, others threatened that they will not receive their social grants. They still soldiered on and continued to vote for the economic freedom fighters. We have voted by people who want more money in the social grants. We have voted by the mine workers. We have voted by people who want a minimum wage of 4,500. And all South Africans who have confidence in us and who are saying, indeed, South Africa needs an alternative opposition in this country. We think we have done very well. We do not have the necessary resources. We didn't have T-shirts. We didn't have posters. We didn't have offices. We didn't have any election machinery. We didn't have proper structures existing throughout South Africa. Yet we succeeded to register our presence in these elections. Many people who thought it was not possible for us to make it have once more proved that indeed it looks impossible before it is done. And once it's done, we all realize it is possible. We dedicate this victory to our beautiful girls in Nigeria. We're saying to them, it might look difficult wherever you are, but we are coming to fetch you. Africa will never rest until those girls are released. They must never lose hope. EFF must serve as an inspiration to them. It looks impossible. Some of them have even given up. They think they will never go home. But we have proved once more that what looks impossible can be possible. And it will be possible for our girls in Nigeria to return. We're doing everything in our power. We're trying to make contact with the organization which has kidnapped these kids. Whatever the grievances, genuine or not, kidnapping the girls is not an option. And Africa needs to grow and realize that there is other effective method of protest, of registering your concerns without reducing yourself in a manner in which they did in Nigeria. We are such an example that you can fight a good fight without engaging in stupid tactics that undermine the intelligence of African people. Anyone in Africa, whoever has got a concern, put up a dignified fight. Let us not reduce our political battles and grievances into kidnapping of beautiful, innocent young girls. Whatever the grievance in Nigeria, it can be fought through an election, and the people of Nigeria, if they buy a story of whoever has got a grievance, they will vote that person into power. We are very happy. We continue to be an inspiration to Africa. We have made history. A political organization led by a 33-year-old. For the first time in the history of this country, it will be represented in parliament. All of them were led by old people. Only a party formed within 8 months, it is amongst the top 3. Even in Olympics, they only announce top 3. So, which is a clear indication that indeed we've got a bronze medal. So we are winners. We are taking something home. And our people are very happy about the performance of the EFF. Remember that we had amongst us the inexperienced people. We didn't have former premiers. We didn't have former ministers. We didn't have former leaders or millionaires amongst us. We met different characters during our campaign. But like we said when we started, we want ordinary people who come from amongst the poor of the poorest to be leaders of this organization. So we're sending ordinary men and women to parliament. People who come from a very, very humble background. One of them is Primrose in Marikana. Yeah. She will be in parliament. She has never dreamed in her life of being in parliament. But the material condition on the ground is actually dictated that we take such people to parliament. We want to thank our fighters, the volunteers, our leaders, the election team, which worked very hard to deliver these numbers. Of course, it was not easy. Of course, we made friendship with lazy people, which we thought some are hard workers. Others thought winning elections mean more TV interviews and radios, and never neglected, they did neglect the ground. A person does more media interviews than the community meetings, and you think that is a contribution. Those are type of characters we met in the process of doing our work. Well, that's how revolution is. We meet different characters. It was a nice experience, and we think we are better people today. We are beginning today to campaign for local government elections. All our structures are instructed to go back and strengthen the ground. Now we are going to establish a department of organizing with a full-time personnel. Its role is to establish branches all over, yes, including in the provinces. All members of the CCT and the War Council who have made it to Parliament, they will go to the Parliament, but halfway through, they will be recalled. Some of them are going to serve the organization on full-time basis. Not all of us will go to Parliament. We'll announce in the due course how many of those people will come back. We are going to be announcing the Youth Command Team, its interim structure to establish the youth wing of the EFF, also the Women Command Team. We are now establishing the organization. We are going to build the structures of the EFF because we got this million within 8 months. So the task is every 8 months we must get 1 million voters for the next 5 years. And that's how we are going to emerge victorious. So we are grateful and we are very humbled. We will never sell out the mandate given to us. We are not going into bed with anybody who doesn't represent what we stand for. The ANC should know that with us they've got 2/3 majority. Only if they want to change policy and bring an alternative radical policy. If they want to amend the constitution and put a clear clause that says expropriate without compensation, they must not worry. Here is the 2/3 majority. If the DA wants to remove President Zuma and they want to push a motion of no confidence, we'll vote with them. We're not going to vote with anybody who compromises the masses of our people. We are not just an opposition. We are a qualitative opposition. We don't just oppose where it's not necessary. When a person says, no, my name is Jacob Zuma, no, you are getting for the sake of just doing it. We are not that type of an opposition. We are going to put substantial issues on the table and we are going to debate them. That parliament was debating issues that are in the periphery and not real issues. Now we are going to table real issues in parliament. There will no longer be sleeping in parliament because everybody will be awake, ready to receive what the economic freedom fighters are going to say. We are not going to comply with unjust regulations and laws in parliament. An unjust law is not law at all. And that is starting with a dress code. Why should people be refused to enter parliament with overalls and be restricted to wear suits and ties? That's a working place. We are going there, some of us, with overalls because we are going to work. If the weather allows, we'll also wear makarapa into the parliamentary chambers because that's where we are working. We are not going to work through wearing ties and suits and creating an impression that we are better than others. People are hiding their stupidity behind ties. We don't want that. We want workers, when they see us in parliament, to feel confident and to know that indeed we see ourselves in the economic freedom fighters. That's where we are. And so there's going to be a lot of things that we'll have to challenge in that parliament. We want a parliament that reflects the South African society. We don't want people, when they see our parliament on TV, they think we all look like that. That we have arrived and we all look nice in suits. They must know that we have not arrived, our people are still suffering. And that matter will permanently be on the table in Parliament. So I think that this concludes what we're saying today. The EFF will release a full statement with details. We have lodged certain complaints. We think there are areas where there were serious problems. However, they are not of such significance to a point where they can affect the fairness and the freeness of our elections. We accept defeat. We accept defeat and life goes on. People in Alexander, we call upon you to accept defeat. Do it in a dignified manner. Don't put South Africa into ashes because of election outcome. This is not the end, it's the beginning. All of us, let us receive the outcomes and congratulate the ANC and let life goes on. Let's go and serve the people of South Africa. We are all winners. No one has lost here. And therefore, we don't have to be bad losers. Let's accept in a dignified way and bow and allow the ANC to continue for the next 5 years. The only thing we're happy with is that we told people that the rot is going to continue. So we are not going to be part of the rot. Anyone who voted for them should know you are contributing to corruption. Anyone who voted for them, you are contributing to the rot in this country. We are not part of that mess. We are happy history has given us an opportunity to self-correct and not be part of the mess. We will never be like Cope. Yeah. We have passed the first test. We did not have two faces as election campaign faces. We had one face. Cope had two faces. That stage we have passed. We are now going into the second stage of building and electing leadership. We are going to safeguard the unity of our movement jealously. No one, No one with a tendency of disruption through contestation will be allowed. People are going to be allowed to contest for positions. We are a democratic organization, but it must be done in a manner that is not disruptive. It must be done in a disciplined manner. It must be done in a dignified manner. We are not going to disappoint our people the same way Cope did. Anyone with such uncontrollable ambition for power should know that you don't have a space in the EFF. Here we are not fighting for positions, we are fighting for working on the ground. When they ask who will go to Alexander to go and talk to those comrades to disperse, we must fight for that and say we will all go and call the comrades to order to accept the defeat and move forward. No fight for positions. When our list was released, that's another test. There were no such troubles and contestations on our list. Already there are people who are indicating on our list who have made it, by the way, who are saying, please, we think we can better serve when we're outside. Can you allow us to contribute from outside? So we are humbled by such requests because they are clear indication that our people are not obsessed with positions. Thank you very much.
Okay, thank you very much, CSC. I'm going to take the first round of hands. Let's make it 4.
There are people this side as well, yeah, at the back.
So it will be 1, it will be 2 brother, 3 sister, 4 Ranjini.
Yeah, okay.
Okay, shoot.
Sorry, can you hear me?
Yeah.
Malema for the business day. You have a provisional order of sequestration. You believe the deadline is 29th of May. What are you doing to sort of sort it out so you can enter Parliament? Thank you.
Yes, Logo News, Lagos, Nigeria. I'm so excited you talked about the girls being kidnapped by Boko Haram. And I just want to know, because in the last couple of hours, we've had talk of the U.S. Marine located where the girls are at the moment in the forest. I just want to know what kind of process have you put in place in negotiating and discussing with the group? You say, quoting you, you said you've been in contact. I just want to know what kind of contact you've made and what the process has been, because the Nigerian government and Nigerian people are looking for answers, and if the EFF is far away in South Africa, is providing the kind of answers we in the media are not providing the people, then we have an issue. That's what I want to know. Thank you.
Number 3.
Hello, my name is Calvin Ongwa from the AN7. I just wanted to ask you, going forward, how are you going to ensure discipline in the party, and are you going to work in the organizational structure in provinces as well as municipalities?
Okay.
Did you get that question?
It was last hand.
I didn't get the question.
Didn't get that one.
Please repeat.
Going forward, how are you going to ensure discipline in the party, because you'll be going to parliament as well? And in terms of how are you going to work on your organizational structure in provinces as well as municipalities? Thank you.
Okay.
I'm Ranjini Mansami from Daily Maverick. Mr. Malema, you said that not all of you are going to Parliament. Is the list that you submitted to the IEC, are there going to be changes to that? Are you saying that the entire team that was presented is not now going to be amended? And secondly, President Zuma visited the IEC headquarters on Thursday. He did not interact with your team from the EFF, and there seemed to be a bit of a standoff. I just want to find out what's your comment to that, and how you, there was some commentary from your members about not wanting to interact with a criminal, and I just wanted to find out how you intend interacting with President Zuma. Thank you.
Okay, thank you.
Well, we are here to talk about the election outcome and not sequestration. So you must learn to know which questions to ask where. You must have a sense of occasion. So you need to know where to ask certain questions. So I don't think that question is relevant here. I've accepted the nomination to Parliament, and I'm going to Parliament to lead the EFF from Parliament. We are not in contact with the organization in Nigeria. We have sent a message to different organizations in Nigeria to try and locate us a possible contact so we can engage with those fellows in Nigeria. And we want to communicate a simple message that there are a lot of different methods to engage in a revolution if you've got different, whatever grievance you have, genuine or not genuine. But kidnapping girls is not one of those. It can be an effective method we need to use to advance whatever cause. We don't agree with it, and we want to talk to them. If we get a contact, and it looks like we're succeeding, if we get a contact, we will talk to them, and if they agree, we'll make means to go and engage them. We don't agree with American intervention. Africans must learn to find solutions to their own problems and not ask imperialist forces to intervene when we have problems. I mean, those ones are bloody thirsty, and killing Africans for them is what they do as an extramural activity. So we don't want that. No matter how angry we are with whoever has done wrong in Africa, we still have got to find a peaceful solution to the problems we are confronted with. And we must salute the courage of President Mbeki for having taken a decision to go to Nigeria, even when he knew that there is a problem of security in that country. Those are the type of leaders we want, not an AU chairperson that goes all over KwaZulu-Natal when the children are being kidnapped in Nigeria. We want brave leaders, we want courageous leaders who don't only interact with Africans when it is nice and fashionable to do so. And President Mbeki inspires such confidence. We're happy he's there, and we hope he will use his wisdom to try and find the quickest African solution. So we're asking those fellows, wherever they are, we're pleading with them, please return the girls. We understand the struggles in Nigeria. We know that the Nigerian natural and mineral resources are still exploited by multinational companies which are representatives of imperialism. Whatever the difficulty, let us not resort to method that will cause death amongst African people. We value a life of every African child, and let's protect those lives. So we are pleading, we are on our knees. We are asking for the release of the girls. We are asking because we are also suffering from the imaginations of what their parents are going through. To lose a girl child should be the most painful thing. We are pleading, we are asking, please release the girls. But we're saying to the girls, don't give up. You must find inspiration in the EFF. You must know that there is nothing impossible. We are coming to get you. Don't lose hope. Continue fighting. Africa is looking for you, and Africa will find you and deliver you to your parents. That's all we are asking. We're not amending any list. Those who have made it on the list will go to Parliament. But if people voluntarily say, I'm asking to remain outside for purpose of studies, for purpose of strengthening the organization, and contributing much better when I'm outside, we can't force people. So there's no list which is going to be amended. The list remain as it is. But acceptance by others not to go to Parliament is more than welcomed. And because we are a government in waiting, we are going to be sending others to school to go and acquire the best of the best qualifications in preparation of the administration, because we are going to take over this government. The indications are very clear that we don't play when we say we are a government in waiting. So we want to take others to go and learn, and not just learn, but in the best of the best universities in the world will pay for their fees, and then when they come back, they must come back and serve the government of the EFF and make it one of the most effective and efficient government. Well, I don't know why Zuma didn't greet the EFF. Unfortunately, he was too busy. I don't know. He had many other better things to do. And if we are not one of those things, it's okay. I mean, there's no excitement out of greeting Zuma, man. Why should we even feel? We don't feel anything, whether he greeted us or not. We don't have a problem. And it can be an issue, Ranjane. Our people want water and electricity, and not whether Zuma greets EFF or not. Let's deal with the substantial issues and not greetings. I have no worry about Zuma. With or without him, we have made it. I mean, him and his forces thought they've written some of us off, and they were done with us. The next 20 years will be here, still fighting. You're fighting with the most energetic people who don't get tired. Once we put our idea on it, we go for it. We don't play. So we are here for the next 20 years. We'll be fighting. It can't take us 50 years to take this government. I can tell you now. It won't take us 50 years. Within a short space of time, we'll take this government. We'll take this government and we'll lead it in a manner that our people will be very happy. The ANC has reduced. If there is any loser here, is the ANC. Yeah. They've lost. In Gauteng is worse. They didn't just lose percentage, they lost Gauteng. The reality is they've lost Gauteng. Whatever the shenanigans they've done, we accept the result. That's part of the game. Hey, Alex Mafia knows that they've lost Gauteng, and they've had to apply Mafia's tactics to win Gauteng. Whatever the tactics they use, fine. We accept. But they know wherever they are that they've lost Gauteng. Yeah. They didn't get more than 50%. They did shenanigans. We don't want to deal with that. We are happy. It's okay. That's a school fees you pay when you are in politics. It's part of the game. You can't be a crybaby and want to permanently complain. We love this country. We don't want this country to go into a civil war. We don't want this country to be in ashes. We love this country. Whatever the shenanigans, for the sake of peace and unity of this country, we are ready to close that chapter and move forward. We love this country of Nelson Mandela. We'll never do anything to compromise the unity and the peace in this country that Nelson Mandela fought for so many years. But those who do shenanigans should know that they don't love this country. They don't love the peace of this country. They don't love Nelson Mandela's legacy. Their conscience will speak to them. We accept the result. We accept defeat. We shall emerge one of the good days.